Gentlemen, thank you so much for stopping by. Today this video comes to you exclusively from Pix11 and we'll be covering the growing and alarming trend of foreign women coming to New York and the United States in general and becoming streetwalkers. Now they say they are down bad and they have no options, but last time I checked, it's not like McDonald's was checking if you were a US citizen or really adhering to those rules, but let's go ahead and break this video down.
During school hours, they're out. All the prostitution is taking up every single block. They will be out with their pimps, and they don't care.
Jaylene Lugo is 14 years old and taking the number 7 train home from high school for the first time. With a Kirby doll on her book bag. Her walk on Roosevelt Avenue is a jolt out of childhood innocence.
I've seen teenage boys go up to the prostitutes.
In one busy spot on 90th Street, men are led downstairs to a brothel on a regular basis.
This is turning into a red light district in Bangkok. You walk up and down from the 70s all the way down to the hundreds.
Trust me, it's jumping. So sometimes when I have to go do photo shoots, I got to go out into the upper parts of New York or like Queens or whatever the case may be. However, what's alarming to me is that this isn't just relegated to Roosevelt Avenue. If you really know where to look, and some of you guys might know where, not bashing you if you go to these places, I mean, do what you gotta do. But if you know exactly where to look, you'll find a lot of streetwalkers all over New York. However, Roosevelt Avenue itself is becoming the go-to place for said prostitution or said services.
And all you're going to see are different massage parlors with women outside soliciting men. There's no moral compass anymore.
Pix11 even found women sitting on mattresses outside a furniture store near 93rd Street. One of many scenes.
That's wild. These hoes don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck. And what's crazy is because these things are often unchecked in their own country, when they come here, they obviously emulate it. Now, a lot of people say that these women don't have a choice. They can't get a job, or, you know, they just can't figure out how to make another source of income without using their bodies. But you don't really have to know how to flip a burger to flip a burger. That's just all I'm saying.
It's unsettling Jaylene's mother.
I grew up in this neighborhood. I've been here for 31 years. I was born and raised here, and what I'm seeing here today is not what I grew up seeing.
We have been reporting on sex workers and trafficking on Roosevelt Avenue for nearly 20 years. The numbers we're seeing now seem unprecedented.
This is happening during school hours, and it's even worse at night.
On a recent Friday, Pix11 News saw activity in the 80s on Roosevelt Avenue, with one man apparently steering customers to a spot that was close to a barber shop.
We are seeing more Latina women doing prostitution. I think those women have no other options.
Some are Venezuelan, Colombian.
They have options. They have options. They just don't want to do that kind of work. They could do dog walking, cleaning, babysitting. Well, I don't know if they'd want to leave a child around these kind of women, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to sell your body in order to survive. Now, yes, is New York a very expensive state? You bet your ass it is. However, there are ways to find and mitigate these issues that you might be facing. Selling your body is definitely not one of them. However, obviously it's a lot easier for women to do that, and if you ask me personally, I don't believe sex work is real work. It's not that hard to open up your legs, but it's definitely hard to create a product, produce a service, and fulfill those duties time and time again. Opening up your legs and letting someone smash you for 50 bucks or 40 bucks really is not hard. It's the easiest thing in the world. Case in point, last time I've been to Vegas, this was like a couple of years ago when I was 21. But when I was in Vegas, if you've been to Vegas, you've heard of the Bunny Ranch. And when you go to the Bunny Ranch, obviously the experience there is definitely not quite like the ones you would find here in New York if we're talking about these kind of services. But what I'd say the ultimate difference maker is between them all is that the experience not only is different, but the way they carry themselves and they handle said business is very different. You know, a lot of these women know that they're in this profession, that's their archetype, that's their identity. They're not really going to change from that. But a lot of these other women that come here, they're doing various things, and this is just the bread and butter for them. So it's a very interesting climate that we're seeing here. I mean, look, granted, back in the 80s, New York also had a high amount of streetwalkers, and until Giuliani came into play and shut it down, it was running rampant. Clearly, we're seeing that all over again.
And they are having their own massage parlors alongside with the Asians.
By day, Pix 11 News noticed a row of women near a physical therapy office on 92nd Street. The manager inside telling us it's hurting his business.
Because patients, they don't want to come in to do therapy because they are being harassed.
We spotted a surveillance camera over the tiny hallway where the alleged brothel is located, which had wallpaper on its door. Eddie said police shut it down several weeks ago.
I was happy, and then after 2 weeks, they came again.
The manager of a cell phone store on the other side is also aggravated.
Porque nos afecta el negocio. Los clientes no quieren entrar, aparte de...
In late September, Marcia Lugo organized a march along Roosevelt Avenue, carrying posters in the rain. But she said she's having a hard time getting the attention of politicians. At one point, she attended a town hall.
And she won't get the attention because this is all a part of the agenda. If they shut stuff like this down, then what does that say to the immigrants that are coming to this country? Now, this is not a political channel. I don't talk about politics on this channel because, personally speaking, I believe they're both two wings of the same bird. And until there's real change and legalities that have been changed, we're not going to see that much of a difference. However, what I would say is there are those governing officials who do care, and they are willing to make these changes. But when you elect certain governing bodies or certain officials that come from certain sects of the government, they have an agenda in mind. And that agenda is to transform New York or whatever state that might be blue, right? They want to transform these states into something that they're not or they shouldn't be. And again, this is having detrimental effects, not just from a social perspective with the women that are walking around in these areas and seeing these things from a first-hand perspective, but also the businesses in the surrounding area as well. We're all going to feel the brunt of this, unfortunately, but the government officials do not care about how we feel. It's all a part of the agenda, which at the end of the day leads to more dollars.
Run by the Queensborough president, Donovan Richards.
When he ended the meeting, I said, what about all the questions regarding prostitution? Because we all submitted questions regarding the prostitution, and they skipped all those questions. He did not like that I spoke out. He said, do not call out. But when the cameras turned off, he spoke to me on the side, and he told me this has been a problem for many years, and I was like, not to this extent.
Mayor Adams, come back here and start taking care of business. We need New York and we need Queens to start to look the way it's supposed to. And it's not like this.
Mayor Adams has told us he'd be willing to make a visit with us to Roosevelt Avenue. He has already checked out the situation at least once at 1:30 in the morning.
I'm mad that she said that. It's interesting that she said the time specifically because it does make you think, like, why would you go to that area at 1:30 in the morning? But hey, that's just my opinion on it. Guys, leave your comments, leave your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you think? And if you're from New York, let me know your experience when you're walking through these areas. Like, what else have you seen that they might not have covered? Once again, thank you so much for stopping by. Thanks for watching. Thank you for your time and your engagement. Check out one of the other videos I got, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.